Bonsoir, bonsoir. Ce soir, nous avons le leader de Biganimals, Amos NACHOUM, qui parcourt la planète tout au long de l'année pour plonger avec différentes espèces de gros animaux, de prédateurs apex. Et je suis très heureux de l'avoir ce soir parce que c'est un petit peu mon modèle et c'est grâce à lui que je suis venu plonger avec les orques ici en Norvège. Good evening, Amos.
Beautiful to see you again, Pierre.
Nice to have you on board again, my friend. I was speaking about all these big animals you used to dive with. What kind of animals? Can you explain a bit?
I decided to work to be as a photographer. And photographer is basically also a communicator. People do writing, people do poems, people do music, people do sculptures, people doing painting. I do photography. So in photography, I made an effort to photograph mostly the ocean giant or the wild animal, not just underwater but also on top of the water. But in particular animals which are very difficult to work with because the public have a negative perception of them. And my experience was that there is a positive experience with them. And I wanted to share it with people, either through photography, but then also by bringing people with me, lead them into have their own personal experience. So they can be continuously to be the ambassador, not only me. So to empower people. So the whole mission is really to empower people by understanding that they can do it as well with a leadership that bring them out, in and out safely so they can live a life with memory which is second to none.
Wow, this is such an experience, and a long time ago you start, and what are the species you are coming close to?
The species we're looking at start from, let's say, topside, something like the snow leopard in India and Ladakh in Mongolia or Russia. Looking at the Siberian tiger, also in Kamchatka. So an environment which is very tough to be in, but some of the most majestic animal on our planet still alive. And they are threatened. By visiting with them and bring the story about them in photography and sighting, we'll be able to encourage people to protect them even more. Beside that, in addition, also working with orca, with anaconda, with leopard seals, with the great white, with the all of the animals that really considered to be risky, considered to be dangerous. And what happened is, through my life of working with them, that is life of photography, photographing on the edge of comfort, wilderness, and common sense. And coming back with stories which are second to none, and sighting of none. And that's what lead also for people to be here, for you and me to be together with the orcas, and now seeing the humpback whale with us.
Of course, orcas, and you have a great experience with orcas, and it started in Tisfjord, and you had a special connection with a special orca. Can you tell me some words about?
We started Tisfjord in '92 when Olaf came to the United States and invited people to join him, and nobody wanted to join him, and send him in my direction because I already pursued the big animals or the ocean giant. And after the first 2 or 3 years, one particular female came around every time when I was coming to Norway to visit. And it was 1 year when in particular she was behind the boat for almost 15-20 minutes while I was sitting on the edge of the Orca, till eventually I got to the water and she came close and I have a beautiful picture of her. I fell in love with her, but I fell in love also with another woman, another Norwegian blonde, Anna, that was visiting with us, and together we did a National Geographic special. By the time we been so many times in Norway, by the time that the connection with Anna, the connection with the orca was so special, eventually I decided to call the orca in the name of Anna, the woman that I could not connect with because she was already married and having her own relationship, so I had my relationship with my orca, with Anna the orca. And becoming such that we missed her for 1 or 2 years in '98 and '99, but then she showed up again in 2000. You were around with us, and you had a chance to see it as well, how she was really comfortable working with us in the water.
Yeah, I was lucky to to meet this Anna, and I also met the other Anna, and that's right, she was a really nice and beautiful blonde Norwegian woman. Yes, and everything. And this was the good old time of orcas in the Tirfjord, and now this trip we are further north, and the orcas has to share the herring with the humpbacks. What's your opinion?
It's very interesting what happened here with the orca and the humpback, and happened everywhere around the world as the ocean giant or the big animals on the water and above water changing their pattern in order to survive. And that's the key for us to understand that animals are very resourceful about their ability to survive as the natural world changing. We humans have an effect all the time on the environment. What's happening now, we accelerate this effect on the environment because of the number of people on the planet and how we use the fossil oil or other elements like plastic and coal that affect the environment. So what happened to the natural environment is as such that all of the Gulf Stream that come all the way from the Atlantic and all the way along the coast of Europe, especially the UK and then also Northern Europe, in this case Norway, that have such a long coastline, the Gulf Stream warm up and start moving closer to the continent. By moving closer to the continent and warm up, actually it kills or deny the existence of plankton and zooplankton, which was the food for the humpback as the humpback migrate north along the coast here. So the humpback had to find something else to feed on. As they're moving up north from the equator area in the summertime and during the wintertime, come along the coast of Europe and all the way to the high Arctic to the high Arctic above Canada, above Norway, they find also the unique presence of the herring. The humpback whale did not know that the orca feeding on them, but they start feeding on them and then become a competition between the two species. We know that humpback whale feed on sardine or anchovies, very small one, if we see them up in of British Columbia. But we did not know until about 3 years ago, when the first time the humpback showed up here, that they are feeding also such a big fish like the herring. However, this is nature course reversal. The animal change their behavior in order to survive, and they will adapt to whatever nature gives them. And now we can see them here, sometimes 2, 3, or 4 humpback whale together with the orca, bubble feeding on the herring, push them up to the surface, and then feeding on them and coming in front, like we had a chance between 2 of my guests here to be able to take some of the most amazing image of a humpback whale coming in front of them by surprise.
Yeah, again, these guys are professional in photography, and this is really special because you have to be adventurer, you have to be trained, you have to know exactly animals and how to behave with them to catch such a unique footage. Not anybody can do that. We are clear about that. You and me have seen orcas into the wild since so many times, so many years, and we appreciate them into the wild. But what's your opinion about the captivity of orcas in SeaWorld and so on?
All the issue of captivity is double edged. That means there's good and bad into it. The good is because there are not many people can go to the ocean to see them. The bad is the way which how this facility in the United States or other parts of the world really treat them. And that is a very painful process. Which way to take, which one is more important, which one is more beneficial for society. So the way which is done till now is absolutely unacceptable. If we can continue doing it and to have mammals in captivity is a big question. So the ocean has to be the place people need to go, or for people to be able to read more and to watch more television, to watch more whatever photographer do, and to be able to enjoy Mother Nature. Because if we not bring any mammal to the people to their home, or to a place where we can see them on land, there will be much greater distance between the majority of the people to the animal in the wild, and we may not be able to continue in protecting them because they will be far away from the people's mind. So the love for the orca, or the love of beluga, or the love of anything that we see in an aquarium came up with as a result of either what Jacques Cousteau started doing, bringing the video up, what National Geographic and BBC does, but then create also a group of people that want to go to the game park to be able to see them. And then few of them, and few of the people are with me here on this trip, on this expedition, are people that brought up on that, and now they can see it themselves. So there is a process. The point is that society yet did not develop the good balance how to treat this animal respectfully, and at the same time to be able to have education, and then other people go to the ocean to see them. But if we keep them only in the ocean, nothing to do on anywhere else, that people easily to see them, we may be missing the point, or we may be missing something in the education process, or empowering people. Because all the issue what we do, or what the BBC does, or National Geographic, and what we do is a magazine between myself and Amanda, the woman that's working with me now in a big animal expedition, and the people that participating. When they go home, they are empowered to tell the story to their friend. When they tell the story to the friend, it becomes even bigger and bigger cycle of people. It becomes more believable, rather than only looking at video or only looking at the book. So that is the interesting, really balance between what happened. We need to encourage more people to get out from home, to go to the wilderness, but it is expensive. Yeah. So not everybody is in a market to be able to afford to be here with you, with me, with Amanda, and to be able to see the orca and the humpback.
25 years experience with orcas into the wild. Thank you very much, Amos. And one advice is to wait the release of your movie. The name of the movie is?
Amos.
Amos, of course. It's going to be a great one, and you're going to have amazing footage of all the biggest animal and biggest...
No, not to be all of it. No? It will be actually practically the life experience that I went through for my upbringing in Israel, through my experience in life that made me to be, or the way I think about wilderness and wildlife photography. And the epic is to do one of the rarest dive and photography ever, diving with polar bear safely underwater.
Okay, so now I know more about this movie. Thank you very much anyway.
Merci beaucoup to you too.
Merci à la France.
Merci à la France. Vive la France.
Merci beaucoup. Ciao.